Jayson Jorgensen. It is once again time for Husker Chat. It's brought to you by Acres Equipment as we talk Husker football with Sean Callahan. HuskerOnline, Nebraska coming off a disappointing loss at Michigan, although I don't think anyone was really surprised. Sean, the thing that surprised me, and this is not new, but I'm constantly amazed how close the odds makers are on things. They knew right where they wanted to set that game, that huge line, and Michigan covered.
And it's like they had a line into Jim Harbaugh to kick that field goal at the very end of the game to give them the cover. But yeah, they once again nailed that 31-point win, 30.5 line. And they did it against the Ohio State game against Indiana. Was a 40-point line, which that's a really hard line to cover. And Ohio State covered as well. So once again, there's a reason why you don't make money in Vegas.
Yep. I was told that a long time ago by a friend's dad. He said that most people who won their bets, if they won their bets, Vegas wouldn't be there. So there's no reason that Vegas is there. How about the game? Nebraska showed, I mean, they tried, but that's one of those games that just showed really where Nebraska's at and where Michigan's at.
Yeah, Nebraska was very shorthanded. I thought Chubba Purdy was playing a lot better too, unfortunately, and was hitting a couple throws, had some nice runs, and he gets hurt on that run. And the offense really dropped off at that point. And on top of that, they get their only points, and then their offensive coordinator Mark Whipple gets wiped out on the sideline on the ensuing kickoff, following the only points Nebraska scored on the day. Then Whipple's situation became up in the air, and they had to wheel him up to the press box in a wheelchair, and he took over after 3 plays to call the rest of the second half. So the whole second half was tough for various reasons. Michigan's very good, and the quarterback and the coordinator situation just added to that.
It's almost this year like you couldn't write some of this stuff. I mean, it's just been one of those years.
Yeah, and going to Ireland, and I mean, it really is amazing to think about everything we've dealt with over the course of a year. Going to Ireland, head coach fired, defensive coordinator fired, interim head coach Mickey Joseph stepping in, multiple quarterbacks getting hurt, offensive coordinator getting wiped out during a game. And I'm sure I'm forgetting other things in there, but those are just a few of the things that come to mind.
Also, I don't know when the last time was you have a matchup between 2 Power 5 teams and they're each with an interim head coach. That also is a little different.
Right. It's very unique in that sense. Jim Leonard, I think, is going to get that job. They're 5-5. Obviously, they want to get to a bowl game, but I think most expect him to be the head coach. Where at Nebraska, I think obviously it appears Trev Alberts will go in a different direction. The better question now will be, is Mickey Joseph going to be a part of the next staff, whoever the next head coach would be?
I know you've been pretty consistent on this, on what you put online. Do you think Trev Alberts still waits until after the Iowa game to make this announcement?
It's a difficult thing because if Mickey Joseph is involved to be a part of it and they can iron that out behind the scenes, that he's going to be a part of the new staff. Maybe there's a way you could present both together in a unified front to kind of make it easy. But, if Mickey and some of the guys aren't going to be a part of the next staff, it'd be really hard to roll out a new coach, kind of present that, and then expect the players and the current coaches to focus on these remaining games. So, and it's a very tough deal. Because I think there's been some thoughts out there, it might be coming out this week or tomorrow. And it's gotten a little wild lately here, just with the speculation of what direction Trev Alberts is taking this thing.
Do you think Trev Alberts already has his man, or do you think this has not been decided yet?
I mean, honestly, Jason, it's a great question. I think he's got a pretty good idea who he wants. Now, the better question is that guy locked up? Are the terms agreed upon? Are they at the 1 yard line? But I would think at this point, you're in the red zone with your candidate at the very minimum, and you're very, very close to hopefully getting things signed off. And generally, big deals like this, you kind of agree verbally on everything, get it all ironed out verbally, and then you put it in writing. And then from there, you kind of go from back and forth and make sure everything's set up. But it's a lot of money. It's a big job. So it's a very, tough thing to finalize, especially when you're hopefully going to get a high profile guy in this position.
About the game on Saturday, what's the best case scenario for Nebraska against Wisconsin? The Badgers, as you alluded to, I mean, they've been up and down too. That this has not been the type of season they wanted to have either.
This is honestly the most beatable that Wisconsin's been. Unfortunately, the quarterback situation for Nebraska makes it hard to read what this game will be, but Nebraska has a chance. They really do. The defense has played well, and I'll say that what Bill Bush has done is they're not breaking down. They're not giving up big plays and big runs. Braylon Allen has just killed Nebraska with those long, big runs. Last year in Madison, especially, that was tough. He just had a couple of those runs that broke free in that game. And, I think if they can limit the big runs and make the Badgers drive the field, they've got a chance because their quarterback play has been subpar. They don't get a lot out of it. They're not going to really stretch the field with great receiver play, and they lost their tight end Ferguson to the NFL. So this offense is not going to light the world on fire. The question is, can Nebraska score some points? Because they're on one of those streaks where it's been very difficult to watch. There's only been one touchdown scored since Casey Thompson's injury.
Yikes. Yeah. Isn't it like 20 straight possessions too without a touchdown? I thought I heard
20 straight possessions. Against Illinois, they didn't score at all without Casey Thompson. The following week, they did score the 13 points against Minnesota, and then last week they had 3. So they have scored, I believe, 3 field goals and a touchdown without Casey Thompson.
All right, we'll see if they can find the end zone on Saturday against the Badgers. Sean, as always, we appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jayson.
And that was Sean Callahan of Husker Online joining us for Husker Chat. Once again, Husker Chat's been brought to you all season long by Acres Equipment. I'm Jayson Jordan.